Brainbox.
Medical professionals of Reddit, what's the worst sex-related injury you've seen at your workplace? I've seen a crystal clear imprint of a clothing iron to the ass. The thought process was something like, if candle wax equals kinky, ironing your ass equals mega kinky? I don't know. Also, a pair of junkies got high and shot heroin in the guy's dick, and we had to fill it the whole thing. He was distraught about the size difference. Worst genital injury was a guy who drilled his scrotum with a cordless drill doing DIY. Don't secure your workpiece between your knees if you want to be sure to keep both testicles, gentlemen. My friend works at an ER in a small rural area in Canada. Apparently, this young guy comes in and has a can of Axe body spray stuck in his rectum. He was extremely embarrassed, and his excuse was that he accidentally sat on it. Dude stuck a pencil down his urethra. Wood is porous, it got stuck. For a day. He couldn't pee around it, and in Italy that's what his complaint was, urinary retention. Finally, in the exam room, when the doctor asked him WTF with the eraser sticking out of his dick, did the guy fess up? He ended up needing surgery. He was also 70-ish. Old enough to know better. My mother worked in an ER and told me a story about a guy who was high on angel dust and couldn't get it up. His friend told him to stick a chicken bone in his dick and he'd be able to have sex. He shoved it in knuckle end first and shredded the head of his dick. I was cooking naked and dropped a package of potatoes and it broke open and I slipped on one and landed just wrong and one went up my rectum. I know somebody that had a person come in complaining of an object in his nutsack. After scanning and removing it, it turned out to be a rolled up piece of pipe cleaner. The patient admitted he liked having things in his urethra during sex. My father was an emergency room physician for nearly 20 years. The first sex-related injury he ever saw was a 14-year-old who stuck a necklace up his anus and the chain got stuck inside, leaving the rest dangling out. A guy came into the urgent care clinic I worked at complaining of stomach pains. X-ray showed 14 dual heads, Barbies or similar, shoved up his ass. He refused to admit that he'd done it. Not my call, but when my partner was on another unit, he got a call for a woman that tried to impress a man at church by shoving an angel figurine up her vagina. This 26-year-old decided to be circumcised. His doctor told him not to have sex. He didn't listen. It peeled like a banana. Guy liked the feeling of lubed up test tubes. Well, he's going hell for leather one night, squeezed with his hand too hard, breaks test tube, and sliced his dick in half, lengthwise.